Howdy, y'all. Joe here from ActionX. Welcome to What's on the Tube, or welcome back if this is your 17th Walker episode review. Just making sure the audio camera is catching up fine. It is. We're good. So my stupidity thought that this episode was going to come out in August. So when I said last week that I'll see y'all in August, I was completely unaware of the fact. Now this came out this week because next week is the Olympic Games, the long-awaited one, and then I'm assuming they just wanted an extra week. Like, I really don't know what's going on that first week of August, but I guess something's going on, so that's why they punted back again. Because I feel like the show's been done for a while. It's not a VFX crazy show, so I wonder why. But this week on Walker, definitely from the way I saw is that it was, they tacked on something that wasn't necessarily needed. I think this episode did really great on its own, but the problem is also my slippers finally getting broken, so I'm just playing with that for a bit. I found it very odd. They decided to do it. It definitely dampened my my view of this episode, since they were kind of tacking on something that wasn't really necessary to the overall plot. I was very much comfortable with every other aspect of this episode except the stuff at the end. So with that being said, let's go through the Butcher recap and talk about this week's episode of Walker. Walker is back. Finally, as a Texas Ranger, all the paperwork's been cleared and done, so he's back at the force. However, because of reasons that we don't understand, well, I don't understand, is that Walker and Captain James are voting for Liam's rival in the upcoming DA election, and I don't entirely know what the reason is. I guess the police department just stands for him more, I guess. I really don't know entirely, but that means Walker has no choice but to side with him, even though technically he would want to side for his brother, I'm assuming there. Meanwhile, back at the Walker ranch house, everyone's just getting some planning session ready. There's a big debate happening at the school that day as part of Spirit Week, which is the final week of school for the year, which I'm like, damn, we already reached summer vacation already? Damn. So the end is near, and Spirit Week apparently in their school's terminology is basically when every student has 1 week to basically get all their remaining loose ends, conveniently enough, before the end of the year, which in this case for August, he wants to fully commit to his review his feelings for the girl that I forgot her name already because it's been weird, the schedule, so I forgot her name. The girl he's been pining for, that was part of the AV club, that girl. And Stella is still going for a couple things with, everything with Trevor, and then also just her friends, and she's still going through some things. So there's still some things that she's got to wrap up there. And so besides that, that's kind of like one of the big things to start off Spirit Week is this debate, because everyone's just curious who the new DA is going to be after the whole shabacle with the last one. Meanwhile, at the Mickey Trey residence, Trey's mom finally comes in for a visit. Very is over happy with Mickey, very happy, and also already making like, when are we getting kids? When are we gonna get married? When is like, you guys have your bill situation figured out yet? All like the real mom questions to ask when your son or daughter has like a partner, and then like, it's kind of serious to the point like there could be rings and kids involved. And of course, like all else, Mickey's kind of like, it's too early to talk about that. I mean, they've been a thing for a while, but this is like the first time they've been actively trying to do a relationship. This is the first time, and she's not ready for that yet. Plus, the idea of kids right now kind of reminds Mickey that she's forgotten to take her birth control pills, meaning that any sex that she's been doing with Trey the last few days, it could potentially mean she's pregnant. This is a bad time, and Mickey's is just point blank there, even though Trey's, it's the typical, like, Trey's like, oh, he's down to have kids, maybe at the moment, but Mickey's like, no, I just started my career as a ranger. Why would I immediately take a leave of absence already for a kid? That's not going to fly with me. But regardless of that, Mickey's confident that she isn't pregnant, but that does give Trey a little bit of thinking time to do, a little bit of thinking time. One of Walker and Mickey's first assignments back together as a team is to, I guess, run security, or just keep an eye on the debate that's going on in the school between Liam and his very douchebag, very shady looking opponent. But then at some point during this debate, there's apparently a bomb threat, and they head inside the school, and they only found a cow. It's kind of weird. Like, why would they throw a cow in there? I know we're in Texas, but like, that's kind of weird. You throw a cow in there in the school? That's weird. But they end up evacuating the building, deeming the school building very unsafe. So they decide to unclose it off, and the kids are all kind of disappointed that this was supposed to be the official start to Spirit Week, and they're not having it, and it's very disappointing for them. But as a substitute, while Liam and his opponent are off getting barbecue and beer, Walker decides to leave the kids off at his restaurant, which again, still technically not open. I mean, it technically is open, but not really off and running for business. It's kind of weird, but and also Jerry's there. I was actually surprised because I honestly thought we were just not going to see any more. Jerry told the finale, but no, she's here. She's covering someone's shift, and she's like, I can't get away from this place no matter how hard they try. But this is also like the first time Walker and her have been seeing each other since that awkward, like, I can't finish this conversation today argument or conversation. And Walker's like, look, I got too much on my plate right now, so let's not do this today. Maybe tomorrow or maybe some other day. But immediately they try to like settle back into their friendship vibe, which is very much already right up the bat once those appear. And they're not going to have time to talk about their romantic issues right now. And they just leave the kids alone while they head off to continue solving the mystery. Back at the school, they get in to try and find any sort of like clue to figure out who might have who's trying to bomb the place. And also during that time period, Mickey heads over to the big award cabinet for like all like the alumni's like biggest achievements. Walker's on there twice, one for football and one for theater, and he gives a story like during the play he was in, his girlfriend broke up with him in between acts, so it kind of helped with his performance at the end, which I'm like, damn, that's like, ooh, I feel sorry for Walker there. Meanwhile, Grandpa and Grandma Walker are back, and they're obviously still talking about renewing their vows, having that big ceremony, but also she wants to tell them that like, hey, Grandpa's got cancer. They're fighting it right now, but it's gonna be another major battle. But Grandpa's like, we got too much drama to deal with right now. I really don't want to tack this on for them, and I decided to hold on until after Liam's election thing is over, and then she could talk about it, which is still going to be a stretch. Which is coincidentally the time that Liam and his opponent come in with a ton of barbecue, a ton of drinks, like they're just ready to eat. I'm like, I had Texas barbecue a few months ago, and I'm like, man, I would love to have that again. I really would. Heading back onwards to, I want to say the, oh yeah, let's head back with the kids. I don't really get to talk about the kids that much. So they're all just doing the yearbook signing, just like getting all that, like, memories and stuff like that. One of the key things is that the girl that August likes is moving away. And so it's like, frack, my big chance. And even if it was successful, she's leaving. So that means the end of everything. And he's really bummed out by it. But it kind of gets turned around when she asks him, hey, my parents are out of town. Can I come over? And I'm like, August, you are in. You are in the elite. Please don't screw this up at all. So, and also, I think Stella also has a talk with her friend about something, I believe, just about the two of them. I really forgot what this conversation was about because we just keep jumping all over the place with these two, but they're talking about something. I don't entirely remember what. It's not really, it's important to like what Stella's going through in the moment, but it's not really anything like important to like the plot of the episode a little bit, in my opinion. Eventually, Walker and Mickey do get a lead on someone who may have threatened the place, and by the time they head over to his apartment, they do find him with a gun and everything. Walker is trying to do a new mediation role to his return as a Texas Ranger, not trying to immediately shoot. He's just trying to like talk to him, like calm him down, like, look, it's going to be fine, don't worry. And he's not really buying it at first. But after a little bit, he gets convinced and he manages to push away his gun and allow him to talk. There's just a lot of problems, obviously, with the DA system right now with the current administration and whichever two are going to take over. And he doesn't really care about hurting anyone. He just wants his message to be heard. That's all he wants. And that is respectful, and I get that. It's just, yeah, you don't really want to threaten a school building with tons of innocent children. And thankfully, the police take him away, and all he wants out of this is like just tell them my side of the story, just let them know what's going on. Maybe they can now finally enact some change, and hope for the best. At least that's all they can really hope for right now. At the barbecue, Liam and everyone is just being a little tense, with the elections coming out. Like, it is his enemy. I mean, they are still like acquaintances, but it's still like the enemy. So it's like you can't really be too friendly with them because like honestly, you're still trying to beat them. So a little bit here, but also this guy just like this opponent of his definitely just has the suit of like, you are a secret cocky asshole. Like your voice and appearance is not helping you at all, man. You should really pick a better attire. Yeah. So from there, Walker and Mickey head back to the bar, led to the restaurant, let Jerry know what's going on, that they caught the dude, and the whole situation might be over. Even though everyone's like really happy, everyone, despite the change of plans, everyone's still really happy and ready to continue onward with Spirit Week. Walker has one last piece of business to do, as the conversation with the criminal made him realize, like, wait, I haven't let everyone tell their side of the story, especially Carlos Mendoza, who was the original guy they used to fall on Emily's murder, who never got his chance to speak up since everyone's just been mad at him, yelling at him, and then he got shot. So, well, not shot, he just got injured. So Walker's gonna go to the hospital and check in on him and just talk to him about stuff, like not as a Texas Ranger to a criminal, but just as a widowed man to this guy who was sadly involved in this whole situation. Jerry overhears this and just like, I can tell by her vibe that she isn't comfortable with him doing this, but he has to. It's time. He needs, if he wants to turn a better leaf, then this is definitely a good step in the right direction for them. So kudos to him on that. But moving onwards from that moment, I believe, so August heads back to the girls' place, and definitely, I'm saying this right now, I know I'm trying to keep this PG-13, this is going to go rated R, it's like from a 1 to a 7 right now. Yeah, she wants to fuck. I'm sorry for the language, I'm being honest there, she just wants to fuck. I mean, she's going to leave, she's always had feelings for him, but it's always sadly been like, and ironically, Superman Lois just tackled this on this week too, where it's like, it's not her first choice, but it's a safe choice. And it's not fair to him, but at the same time, she is going to leave. It's not, I don't really think there's going to be any plans for her to like go back to, Austin anytime soon. I don't even know where she's going. I don't think they mentioned in this episode, but she just generally wants to like, have that experience. Cause I'm pretty sure the other dude was just a douchebag and just wasn't what she wanted. And August is, I don't think what she wanted either, but like, he's like the closest person that will probably say yes to her. And honestly, I looked at August like he did want to say yes, he did, but the thing about August is that he's a nice dude. He does not want to just have sex and then, let her go away, because he wanted to legitimately try a relationship with her for the longest time, and he's always going to feel bad that like he never did stuff earlier and maybe had that opportunity. And the thing is that I completely connect with him. I completely get that. I get where he's coming from. I really do. But there's not really much he can do right now, but just say like, look, I like you. I really would like to do this, but at the same time, I don't want to do it with the knowledge of like, whatever we do, it's going to only be a very temporary thing because you're going to leave. And honestly, as much as I say that was the right call, dude, I'm being honest here. I don't know. This is a CW show, so I was expecting like he was going to go through with it and like, just do it. I guess that's what was my assumption was going to be, because who knows? We still have a finale to go. Maybe there'll be a last-minute twist between them, or maybe that could just have been it for their storyline. Who knows? I'm just saying, like, I honestly expected one thing, and they went another direction, but maybe I kind of wanted the other thing, if you know what I mean. But regardless, he goes back to Stella, and they talk about things, and, they're being open with, like, their issues and, like, how things are going between them. And he asked her the obvious question, like, have you been in touch with Trevor since everything that happened a few weeks ago? And she's like, she's debated right to him so many times, but right now she doesn't think that's the best call for them, because she needs to move on in a healthy, organic way, and Trevor's always been like that negativity spot, sadly, in the way she doesn't want. So that's unfortunate. The only other thing I can think of is that's correlating at this time is that I know Trey and his mom are just having a talk about like, future kids and like that sort of, and she said like, I like Mickey a lot, and I respect the fact that you decided not to redeploy again, only because you want to try an actual relationship with her, which she respects. The problem is that she's kind of the old mind that said that like Mickey should give up her career and like, well, not give up her career, like really just focus on starting a family and raising it. But her running out today to do her ranger duties is definitely not sit well with her. And Trey knows what she wants. He wants to be with her no matter what. But his mom has a totally different perspective of the situation, which is understandable because every generation is different. Every generation wants something else. And Trey wants this one thing, and his mom's going to want him to do another thing. But at the same time, it is just Trey's decision and what Mickey also decides to do at the end. So he really can, he doesn't want to back down from that, which I totally respect. Meanwhile, back at the hospital, Walker comes in to make amends with Cardozo, with Mendoza, and they talk about like the whole thing. And Mendoza's originally under the knowledge that like, they don't really know about, or he thinks that they're still out there, and like Walker hasn't solved anything yet. I guess no one told him about the whole shootout, taking out the person who did kill her. But the thing to know is that during this conversation, he said they, not her, they. So Walker overhears and is like, wait a minute, what else is going on here? Like, there's something else going on here. And he's like, no, well, at the same time, back at the Walker Ranch, the other person running for DA, what happens with him is that one of the press reporters comes in to kind of like do a follow-up on Walker and Liam's incident with the whole everything that happened last week with, not last week, but like a few weeks ago with Trevor's dad. And while he was there, he stupidly reveals like, hey, I have some like evidence against you that like on the candidates that candidate is like, hey, there's some shady stuff you be doing. There's a lot of like irregularities with your case findings, and I think I'm gonna publish the facts once I get a little bit more details. And he's like a big no. Listen, those things you found, those are fine. They're just not reported. Let's go back to my office right now, and I'll show you what I mean. In reality, he's gonna try and take him out. And the guy's like really not budging. He's like, look, let me go. I need to talk to Liam and then Walker. So please. Leave me alone. But however, he's very scared because like it's a very much of a fuck. He could figure out everything I've done. I'm not going to jail. So he pushes him to a rock and that kills him instantly. But now he's left with the fact he just committed murder on the Walker house. It's like it's gonna be nearly impossible not to get rid of the body. But sadly, he has no choice. So he runs back to the house, starts getting his hands clean. I'm presuming the body was picked up or disposed of quickly. He tries to get his mind off things by trying to distract Grandma Walker with the whole like vow renewal and like, hey, I got a venue for you. It's like you can use it here. I don't mind. I don't care, because like he's just trying to like get everyone on his good side. So if something does happen to him, he might have some leeway to get out of it, which I honestly don't think he will. But once Walker is, meanwhile at the same time, Walker finds out that DA candidate actually was somehow involved with everything with Emily and like in her cover up and her murder. He gets so mad that he actually just he starts driving towards the, I guess back to the school or the Walker Ranch. I don't know where he's going, but like eventually, the DA candidate calls over his boys. They flip over Walker's truck, and they immediately do capture him. They do get him originally, but then Walker manages to slip out. Also, yeah, before I forget, that's kind of like wrapping up the episode. Fuck, where do we go? The only thing I've noticed is that Trey and Mickey do have that conversation about when they do come back together, and he's like, it was nice to think about it, but I know we're not ready for it right now, but maybe down the line we will be. And this is definitely like healthy communication, and that's awesome between them. But back on Walker's case, he thankfully gets out of his situation, kills both of the goons, and manages to hold the other dude at a gunpoint. And that's where the episode ends, since Walker decides to take him hostage. What more happens after that? Who knows? Because that's the end of this week's penultimate episode for Walker. So again, that was the thing that I was very bummed out by. I loved every other aspect of this episode with August's decision not to go any further with her, despite her really just letting him do whatever he wants, but he decides not to do it. Walker getting back on the force. Mickey with the whole next level stage with Trey. The Grandpa and Grandma Walker, the election. I liked every aspect of this episode. I really did. It was just, did we really need to tackle on another element to Emily's murder? It just seems like you're just keeping like, oh, there's a higher being, and then there's a higher being, and it's like, by that point, it could just keep going forever. And I really hope this thing with the DA candidate is it. This is as far as we go. Next season, we're doing something completely new. Maybe get new flashbacks with Emily. But mostly this has to end the case, because I'm a little bit tired of it, because like we had a finish point more than 6-7 episodes ago. That was the end of the point. And the fact they just kept it going, I guess I know that this is still part of season 1 story, so thematically it would make sense for it. But we've already said goodbye to her, and we said goodbye to this matter weeks ago. Why do we need to bring it up again? That's my only real issue with it. It's like they should have just kept these solo episodes. I know it's a finale. You need like a big stakes. But like, there's other things you can do. I mean, they didn't necessarily have to go back to the Emily is dead, like the conspiracy pool once again. I mean, we already had like a good amount of episodes focusing on it. We don't need another one, in my opinion. But okay, what can you do really? What can you really do? That was the cards we were dealt with, and hopefully, it's the primary focus next week. So hopefully, it pays off well. Well, not next week, next episode. And hopefully it will turn out great. Otherwise, we'll see how it goes. But overall, for me, I like this episode a lot. But that the re-inclusion of Emily's death and the whole conspiracy theory, I found that to be really unnecessary. And hopefully, it will make sense at the end. But unless they don't, they should have came up with something else. But for me, I'm gonna give this episode 1 1/4 of a star. Around that, well, thumbs up, that sort of thing. That's what I give it. Let me know in the comments below. What did you think of this week's episode of Walker? Did you love it? Did you hate it? I'm always open to conversation down below, guys. So please leave a comment down there. And I think that's going to do it for me tonight, everyone. So if you're unaware, this has been What's in the Tube, reviewing every episode in the first season of Walker. If you want to know what we're doing overall, What's in the Tube, besides our Walker episode reviews, we are doing High School Musical, the series, season 2 episode reviews each and every Saturdays mornings after brand new episode on Fridays on Disney Plus. But if you don't care about Walker, we'll be off sadly again for the next 2 weeks for the final time in season 1, because we are going to be back soon for season 2 with the season 1 finale in August 12th, and then we'll have our review posted on August 13th, and then from then on we will be doing our normal wrap-up procedures with a review series. We are going to be doing a season 1 review for the whole show, so see how it all rings out. And then a season 2 predictions where I'll talk about stuff I would personally like to see in season 2 when that comes out in October. But also, yeah, and that'll be the end of our Walker coverage. That will take us towards the rightful end of August. But until then, we have 2 weeks off. Because I did another First Impressions this week on top of the normal 2 shows, I'm leaving next week just for High School Musical. So there will only be 1 video next week plus a slate. So stay tuned for that. We'll have a quick impressions at some point that next week, so stay tuned for that. But again, if you want to check out our First Impressions, which are normally our pilot episodes for like potential review series, we just posted one for Turner and Hooch. So if you're curious on that, that's on Disney Plus as well. So please go support that. It does help show the support that people want to watch other stuff that isn't just Walker High School Musical related. But please do leave us support. But unless again, if you're unaware, this has been What's the Two from ActionX. Please subscribe to ActionX on youtube.com/ActionX videos if you want to see more of us. Please ring that bell for notification when our next Walker review is live, which is normally every Friday mornings. But after some things happened, so I got pushed back a little bit because stuff happened. What was I going to say? I forgot what I was going to say. Follow us on social media, including our brand new Instagram page to stay up to date with any sort of updates for the channel. And yeah. So again, this is for all you members of the Walker family. I'll see y'all on August 12th, well, August 13th, for the season 1 finale. But until then, stay safe, be good to each other, and as always, peace out.